We've all been there. Our budget's looking good. You haven't overspent on takeout. Everything's running smooth sailing. And then, boom, your car registration's due. And then another couple months later, your car insurance premiums are due. And then you look up and it's December and you realize you haven't saved anything for Christmas gifts. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Joe, a licensed certified public accountant with over 10 years experience in corporate and public accounting. I have an extensive background in accounting, audits, and taxes, and I'm all about helping you take control of your money and live smarter. Be sure to subscribe and turn on all notifications to our YouTube channel. And check out the blog site where we post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. These aren't actually emergencies. We all know when they're coming, but they feel like emergencies because they hit us all at once. Today, I'm going to show you the simple ways to make sure surprise bills never ruin your month again. We're talking about sinking funds. So, what is a sinking fund? It sounds like a scary term from a Wall Street office, but it's actually more simple than what you think. A sinking fund is just a way to save money by setting aside small amounts every single month for a specific expense. Think of it like mini buckets for your money. Now, a lot of people may ask, wait, isn't that just a savings account? Yes and no. The difference between a sinking fund and a savings account is the intent. Let's take a look. So, an emergency fund is for the unknown. Some of those examples will be God forbid you were to lose your job, or if you have some kind of medical issue that forces you out of work. A sinking fund is for the known. Let's say your tires will wear out before your sister's wedding or your sister's wedding's in June. These are more the things that we know about that are different. One is for strategy and one is for your safety net. So you might be asking yourself, why bother with all these small little savings accounts? Why not just keep one big pile of cash? Well, have you ever looked at your savings account and thought, wow, I have $2,000. I can afford this new TV, only to realize 2 weeks later you actually needed that money for your property taxes? Well, one of the great things about this is there's no more budget shock. Bills become more boring. There's a guilt-free spending. So when you do spend your vacation fund, you don't feel bad because that money has one job to be spent on vacation. And there's no more credit card debt. You stop relying on the plastic to cover things you should have planned for. So, about that big pile of cash. Have you ever looked at your savings account and thought, wow, I have $2,000. I could afford this new TV, only to realize 2 weeks later that you actually needed that money for your property taxes? Well, with with this, we'll talk about three different things that's going to help you. Number one, there's going to be no more budget shocks. So those bills, they start to become boring because now they're just like part of your monthly payment routine. Instead of waiting the 6 months to be surprised about that insurance premium, you've already got it covered. Number two, you're going to have guilt-free spending. So when you spend your vacation fund, you don't feel bad because that money has one job and that's to be spent on you going on vacation. And number three, no more credit card debt. It's going to help you to stop relying on the credit cards to cover things you should have planned for. So now there's no more excuses for those planned expenses. So, how do you get started with your sinking funds? Well, the first thing we're going to have to do is find your buckets. Most people fall into three buckets. Step one, we're going to find your buckets. The first bucket that we're going to look at is the gotcha buckets. These are the mandatory bills that happen once or twice a year. Think of like your car registration, those professional dues, or your annual software subscriptions. And then bucket number two is going to be the I wish bucket. These are for fun things like vacation, home decor, or a new wardrobe. And then we have our third and final bucket. This is the oh no. These are the predictable maintenance items. Like your car will need an oil change, your dog will need a vet visit. These are the items that we know are coming up that we have to get done. Think back the last 12 months. What's one bill that may have made you say, oh man, I forgot about that? That's your first sinking fund. Now for the part that most people usually hate, math. But don't worry, it's literally just one step. So here's a simple math formula I was telling you about. What you're going to do is you're going to take your total cost and divide it by the months until it's due. And this is going to be it's going to equal your monthly savings goal. So let's look at an example. Let's say you take $1,200 and you divide it by 12, and you get $100 per month. Let me start that over actually. Let's look at the simple math formula I was telling you about. What we're going to do is we're going to take the total cost, we're going to divide it by the months until that bill is due, and that's going to give us our total savings goal. So let's take a look at a real world example. Let's say you want to spend $1,200 on holiday gifts this year, and it's currently January. You have 12 months to save. So let's walk through this together. Let's say you take the $1,200 that's your goal to save on holiday gifts, and we're going to divide it by 12. You get $100 a month. So now you're going to put away $100 a month in order to reach your goal. Now imagine it's December. Instead of being stressed and checking your credit card balances, you just go to your holiday bucket and there's the $1,200 in cash. How much better does that feel? So you might be thinking to yourself, do I need 10 different bank accounts in order to keep up with all these sinking funds? Not necessarily. You could do that, but it is a bit messy. The best way is to use a high yield savings account. Many modern banks allow you to create sub-accounts or buckets within one single account. You can nickname them car, vet, or even Hawaii for a vacation. And here's a pro tip: automate it. Set it up so that the day after your paycheck hits, your bank automatically moves those small amounts into your buckets. If you never see the money in your checking account, you won't spend it. You won't even miss it. Sinking funds take the drama out of your finances. They turn big, scary financial mountains into smaller molehills. Start small and pick one today. It's your next car insurance payment or a birthday coming up. And start your first sinking fund. Your future self will thank you. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe and follow me across all social media platforms. And let me know in the comments below what's one surprise bill that always seems to catch you off guard. And come back next week where we'll talk about steps to getting out of debt.